Broadcasting from Manhattan Beach and the World Wide Web, you're listening to CHSR, HealthyLife.net.
As a service to our listeners, this program is for general information and entertainment purposes only. CHSR, HealthyLife.net does not recommend, endorse, or object to the views, products, or topics expressed or discussed by show hosts or their guests. We suggest you always consult with your own personal, medical, financial, or legal advisor.
Welcome to Relaxx Radio, the place where you'll ride the wave of inner energy with us. And you'll be joining us for insightful guests, inspirational mind-body flame talk that helps you streamline and enhance your own energy and balance and learn about the inner mysteries of the universe with Relaxx. I'm your host, Dan Riordan. I'm an author, consultant, and 30-year entrepreneur. And we also have a co-host, Dr. Krishna Bhatta. Krishna, go ahead and introduce yourself.
And I am your co-host, Dr. Krishna. You can call me Dr. K or Krishna Bhatta. I'm a urologist. I'm an inventor, and I've authored a book, Journey from Life to Life. I'm an expert in intermittent silence, meditation, and also Gita. I'm so happy and excited to start this radio show. And it's always good to be happy, and it's a happy moment to be with Dan anyway. Hi, Dan. How are you?
Hi, Krishna. I'm doing great today, and like you, I'm really excited and kind of full of joy about bringing this show to everybody and doing this on a weekly basis going forward, so it's really fun. So, Krishna, the first thing I wanted to do is really ask you to tell people, how did this whole idea start? And we'll both talk a little bit about how Relaxx Radio came to be, but I thought it'd be great for you to give a perspective.
No, I think it just things evolved. Like one of our friends once said, Dan, he put out the energy and things have started happening. So this is something, I don't think I can take a credit or, give the credit to someone else. But as it happens, I started giving some book talks on Journey from Life to Life in libraries, and ideas came from people listening, and they had so many brilliant, wonderful ideas and insights, and we thought of doing some workshops, and then I've been doing this meditation for such a long time. I thought, it's time to share with people, given the response I was getting. So we went about doing a Relaxx with 2 X, by the way, RELAXX. And we made this app, and then we were doing some podcasts with Dan and I, and Dan was the host, and I was the guest, and we kept talking, and it seemed like, we had a good chemistry, right, Dan?
Yeah, we really did, and the spectrum of the body, mind, and soul, you and I were really aligned and connected across the energy, and it was pretty instantaneous that we both felt, let's explore the ways we could work together and do things together.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned about energy, and you are an engineer, right? And you have studied energy in different forms, and talking about life energy, it was something interesting.
Yeah, it really was. It really resonated with me on a lot of different levels, and I'm definitely going to spend a few minutes talking about that as we progress in this discussion. When you talk about the Relaxx App and the formation of that, how did that come to be, and what is that app meant to be for people?
So there are many meditation apps out there, and there are thousands of meditations being marketed, and in the domain, in free domain as well. And many of them are guided meditations, short meditations, and feel-good meditations. They work on body and mind. there are very few meditations out there that I found was working on body, mind, and flame. Flame is a word I coined for consciousness, which is like our individual consciousness. We all have an individual consciousness, which is separate from the universal big cosmic consciousness that most people understand. And brain doesn't create consciousness. That part now is kind of getting more traction, and I totally believe that consciousness is the one. Brain exists because we have consciousness, not the other way around. And one way to understand the consciousness or individual consciousness is like a space and a house. So when you say space, it sounds like everything under the blue sky or hyperspace or the space where a Star Wars travels. We don't think of our house as a space, but that's an individualized space that we have control over. We can heat it to our temperature. We can put humidity to what we like. We can put, contents in that space. So, and when you want to connect with the outer space, you open the door and you are connected with the outer space under the blue sky. So similarly, individual consciousness is something that we all are born with, along with body and mind, and that individual consciousness sustains our body and mind, similar to roots sustaining a tree and a trunk and the leaves. So that was the concept, that we will have body, mind, and the flame. And the spirit and soul is something even further deeper. So if you consider that spirit or soul is the nucleus, then you have a radius around that, and the first radius, the first circle, is the flame, and then there is outer circle, which is body and mind. So this is the concept that the app is based on, and it has several meditations that work at a deeper level, including intermittent silence, which we can talk a little later as we go along. So this app has been in existence. We made it, but we are making some improvements as well, which will be available in a month or so.
That's great. And you mentioned the term intermittent silence, and when we first started working together, I hadn't really thought about silence in the way the intermittent silence has come to be for me now. So I think it might be valuable for you to spend a minute just explaining that concept.
Yeah, Dan, as we talked several times, and you have practiced it as well on several occasions. So one way to practice silence, which is a common way that many people do, is go on a retreat of 7-day retreat, 10-day retreat, meditation retreat, and you are silent there. So that's a classic way of doing. Many people do that maybe once, I've done several, but I don't do it even every year. So how do we bring that in our regular life? Anything is good if it can reflect or it can be part of our lifestyle. Like you play tennis every evening or you play golf on the weekend. So similarly, intermittent silence is a practice of 10 minutes of silence every day. And we have given a very structured, so it's not like you don't know what you are doing. There is a structure to it. And the best part is, or the least important part, you can say, is that your brain gets a rest for 10 minutes if you're silent. So intermittent silence practice for 10 minutes includes closing your mouth. So when you close your mouth, you're not just not speaking, but you are also not expressing, not communicating. So that whole communication and the speech centers or the neurons or the neurotransmitters get rested for 10 minutes. Similarly, when you close your eyes, you are not only just not looking outside, but also you're not observing. So the power of observation, in a way, it gets internalized which you can use later, in the practice, but at least all the visual pathway and that in the brain gets rested. The third part is component is silent listening. And if you are listening the sound but not processing it, not judging it, just the sound goes through one ear and gets out through the other, like that kind of expression. And the fourth one is watching your thoughts. And when you watch your thoughts, just let it transit through the mind. I mean, the thoughts are not... some people try to work on the thoughts, like they try to focus it or they try to eliminate it. That's not going to happen. The thoughts will continue to be there. Mind, in a way, we call minding. So it's like it will continue doing that, but you can be a watcher. And that watcher is the one that experiences the flame. After some time, it slip into this area that is an unknown area, uncharted area. It's a wonderful area. It does take time to happen, but it does happen. And then you create your own inner universe. And at some stage, we'll talk more about, what you can do, positive things you can do in that inner universe, like inner conversation, inner theater, and that kind of thing. But I think for today, there should be sufficient idea about what intermittent silence can bring for you.
Yeah, no, that's great. And as the show evolves, I think we're going to bring a lot of guests and a lot of insight into the things like inner theater and the other concepts that all tend to wrap together. So it's exciting, and it's fun to hear you talk about it over and over again. It helps me further my thinking, so it's great.
But Dan, you have practiced it, I like to do it when I'm going hiking. I lie down on a rock, and in Maine there is no poisonous snake, so I can afford to do that. But where you are, how do you use it?
Yeah, so for me, the intermittent silence and the meditation practice in general, the way I typically do it is in nature. There's a river and a lake nearby, and I go there and spend my 10 minutes in silence. And it's really been a powerful concept for me, and it really wraps into kind of the whole purpose for really wanting to do this radio show with you and the other things that we're collaborating on, the app and others. This whole concept of redefining my relationship with energy is one where this realization for me came about 7 years ago, and it was really triggered by an event that had come up that was a medical diagnosis of high blood pressure. And I was really mystified as to how I was getting that diagnosis, because I was pretty fit and thought I was pretty on the normal ways of managing my body and my energy. And as I started to dive into questioning some of that process, I realized that I had made some pretty big errors in the way I was managing my entire energy, body, mind, and flame, and started a process around this concept from my engineering program, which was studying of thermodynamics. And thermodynamics is just the study of energy, and there's a second law of thermo, which is called entropy or disorder, anytime an energy is converted from one form to another. And the concept I took, and I started to look at every input into my life from a entropy disorder mindset and said, all right, how do I minimize it? Because entropy is just a base law of the universe, and it's always going to be happening. The big trick is, how do you slow it down? And are there ways to slow it down? And as I started to look at all the different energy inputs, I started to realize I could impact the disorder, and if I put more positive potential into my life, I started to live a lot simpler, a lot cleaner existence, and I felt energy like I had never felt it. And the intermittent silence is now just a huge component of that, because when you say give your brain a breath, it really is that rest that just allows so much more energy to manifest in your system, that I'm now very committed to it and really look forward to my practice of the silence, and giving my brain a rest has become a big deal for me. So that's a really short synopsis of kind of that whole lens for me.
So it's interesting, coming from the energy field. One of the things that comes up is if you are silent, your mind is empty, or that space is empty, but it's not. Even the space between you and I, if we are sitting next to each other, is not empty. It's full of what I, heard the word, vibrations or fluctuations, energy fluctuations, or
right.
Electromagnetic fluctuations. So it's a lot of energy in there, and in the inner universe also. Once you go into silence, there is a lot of things there. I mean, apart from your thoughts and the sound, there is a lot of other things that you will experience as time goes on. Have you had any thoughts on that, Dan?
Yeah, a lot of thoughts there. The energy is, and the vibrations, however you want to quantify that, it's always present, it's always there. And I find that when I go to my silence, I quickly get in tune with sounds of birds, or sounds of water, or the wind, or all of the external factors. But then I have had some really fun experiences where I feel like I'm connecting with energies or thoughts that are from the animals or from the trees that are around us, and you really start experiencing a much different connection to a very different plane of thoughts and of vibration.
Oh, that's wonderful to hear. Dan, so, this show, I know we talked about, doing this show, and now it's a real thing. What do you think is the purpose for our show? Relaxx Radio.
Yeah, I think the purpose really is summed up in, wanting to help people redefine their relationship with energy. And that happens on all the levels of body, mind, flame, construct. And being able to have multiple pieces to the show, we're excited about bringing in guests that are going to access their thought patterns and their energy around those different areas, and it's going to help us all lead to a more robust energy life and a more robust energy practice. And I think there's so many fun places to explore in this whole process that I know you and I are both really looking forward to this show and the evolution of the guests and all the discussions that are coming. So that's a real simple definition.
No, that's wonderful, and I'm so excited. These people that we have on our guest list are really, there's so much to share and so much knowledge in their own field, and they have published books, and they have done workshops and exercises, and they have been. So I'm really excited to listen to them, learn from them. It's all inspirations. How do you do the questioning, Dan?
The questioning strategy I kind of came up with was in a real simple construct. I realized that I was getting signals all the time that I wasn't really necessarily paying attention to, because due to my beliefs, values, and illusions I had come up with, I just assumed that I already knew, so I didn't question the signal. And so over time, I really developed a really simple strategy around how do I question signals that arrive. And I look forward to sharing that with everybody as we go through this show, because it's been really fun to see how impactful it's been for myself and others. And I think combining that with this really fun lens on the different layers of energy. It's going to be exciting. I think we should explain the kind of the components of the show here so people know what they're going to see each week. We have 4 pieces to the show. So each week a guest is going to be here for the first part of the show. And as Dr. Krishna said, the guests are varied, authors to people that have all sorts of seminars and practices, so we're excited about that. We have a second piece that's going to be called Cauliflower Moments, Your Beliefs Matter, and we're going to be explaining that in the next segment. And then the third segment, it's going to be a segment called Peaceful Moments, and Dr. K is going to be leading that. He's going to explain that in a minute. And then we have our last segment, which is called Minor Miracle Stories, and Dr. K is going to be leading that one as well. So we're excited to be bringing this show to you. This has been the introduction to Relaxx Radio. You can find us at www.relaxx.org with 2 X's. And we are going to be right back after we take a brief break.
If you want the most compelling, universally available platform in the practicing of meditation, mindfulness, and intermittent silence, then you need to know about the app called Relaxx.org. That's Relaxx with 2 X's, because when you go to this app, you really do relax. It helps your body, quiets your mind, and connects you to your flame in the world of consciousness. It's always with you, so you can use it any time. Isn't this your time to be peaceful, happy, and prosperous? Find out more at Relaxx.org.
If you're looking for unique items at affordable prices, then you should try Dream Product. From apparel to beauty, from shoes to therapeutic relief products, visit HealthyLife.net's advertiser page and click on Dream Products, and maybe your dreams might just come into reality.
Imagine living everyday life on purpose. Now imagine yourself easily navigating through life's changes and stress from a soul level. For insights into the journey of the human soul, let Dr. Krishna Bhatta be your guide. His book, Journey from Life to Life, will help you demystify life, death, and everything in between. It gives you clarity on how you can have a successful life and a smooth transition into the world beyond. Who wouldn't want that? Get Journey from Life to Life by Krishna Bhatta MD at Amazon.com.
You have too little time to shop, so try Farm Fresh to You. They deliver organic food the way nature intended, delivered straight to your home or office, economically. Visit our web advertiser page and click on Farm Fresh to You now.
Feel like the super person you are meant to be? It's easy at liveandbreathesolutions.com. They don't just talk about healthy living. Their superfoods are combined with products you use daily, so you're actually getting a healthy living at great prices, too. Imagine chocolate, gluten-free organic snacks, mixes, and ingredients, all but a click away at liveandbreathesolutions.com. So make life simple to be healthier. Just live and breathe and go to liveandbreathesolutions.com.
This is Jack Maher from the band Feed the Kitty. It's important to support the artists you love, and you can do that and get something authentic for yourself. Rock.com has the most coveted licensed merchandise of music, culture, and entertainment. So go to the advertiser page and click on Rock.com now.
Make your day start out right. Coffee and tea are what most people need to help start their day. So it's no secret that you want the very best taste. That's where coffeeandchai.com comes in. They're proud to display a variety of coffee and tea from all over the world. They have a wonderful assortment of coffee flavors, and talk about teas. They have all kinds for the body, mind, and soul, which are great to drink any time of day. Visit coffeeandchai.com now. That's coffee, the letter N, chai.com. coffeeandchai.com.
Welcome back to Relaxx Radio. I'm your host, Dan Riordan, with co-host Dr. Krishna. In this segment, we want to talk to you about a term called cauliflower moments. And I'll be leading this segment each week with a guest or with a story from a guest. So to kick this off, go ahead, Dr. K.
No, that really, when I first heard you say cauliflower moment, that really intrigued my interest. Cauliflower? I like cauliflower. And I was wondering, what you were going to say about it. So, no, please carry on. I think people will be, very interested in knowing what is cauliflower moment.
Yeah, so the cauliflower moment is a funny metaphor that I came up with, and it came out of this belief that I had that was formed as a youth that I absolutely disliked cauliflower. And the funny story of it is my mom cooked it. It was soggy. It stunk up the whole house when she cooked it, and I would literally get in trouble. My dad would have to sit next to me at the table, and I would be forced to eat this cauliflower, and it was an epic battle. And so I really formed this strong belief of disliking this thing. And then as I started to question the energy around my food and my health, I found out just the amazing power that cauliflower had as a nutrition source. And it really was this complete reframing of a belief that I had to go through to then now I eat cauliflower 3 to 4 times a week as mashed potatoes, as stir fry, and on it goes. And it really was this defining moment for me in realizing, A, our beliefs really matter, and then B, how haphazardly we tend to form these beliefs, and then how strongly we stick to them. And so over time, I started this process that we talked about in the introduction around questioning and questioning everything, and it really centered around a lot of questioning of base beliefs. And as I started to explore that questioning, what I found is we've all had some both significant, big life-changing type cauliflower moments, and we also have a lot of small ones like reframing what you thought about cauliflower. And I just really enjoy listening to people's thoughts and insights around their cauliflower moments, and I found that I've learned a lot from people by listening to their stories. So our hope for this segment is with the guests we have on the show each week and potentially stories from listeners, you can input your stories, our emails on the show, and we'll be happy to amplify those stories and help others. The whole feeling behind this and purpose of it is it's to give us all this realization that we can be humble and we can listen to humble stories of others and follow the wisdom that we learn and hear from. And we all need guidance, and what better guidance is to get the stories of real-life situations where others have challenged a belief and come to a new understanding and a new outcome for their life from that process. And it's really exciting, and I hope that as it unfolds each week, everybody can walk away with a new thought process or a new thing to question based on the cauliflower moment that's shared for that week. And Dr. K, I don't know if you have one that you want to share that's a quick, simple thought process, but we can do that. And
before I share anything, I think what I want to know from you is how was the transition? How long did it take from not liking cauliflower to start liking, or at least, getting adjusted to that? How long, was it a sudden break that I like it today and I don't like it tomorrow? I don't like it yesterday and I like it today. Or was it, it's like, did it take some time to get adjusted to the new Dan who likes cauliflower now?
Yeah, it took time to adjust. It was not instantaneous. What I found for my particular process, I tend to always be in need of understanding a little bit of the science or understanding a little bit of the analytics behind the process. So for me, this idea of looking at what are the nutrients, what can it actually do to help me in the entropy positive potential energy equation, I then started to reframe my belief around it because I was like, man, this really can have a big impact on my outcome. And so I'm going to try it. And I kept trying it in different forms, and eventually I got to a place where I was really enjoying it and craving it. So it was not instantaneous. It was a journey.
Yes. And the reason I asked, because I had a similar food kind of situation. When I grew up in a very strict vegetarian Indian family. And eggs, it was not only not liking eggs, but eggs was, it was, think of it like a sin, it was like, oh, I committed something bad if I eat eggs. So I had that kind of, repulsion to egg at that time when I was growing up as a child. And when I saw one of my cousins eat egg, I thought, my goodness, like, what will happen to him? And especially if I tell that at home, I didn't do that. But it was very painful for me at that time. And many years, it took years of when I went to medical school, I see everybody eating egg, and it's like started growing on me that it's probably not that bad. And then, you start thinking of the, value of, the calories and good and bad of eggs. So the things kind of ease off, and then I ended up eating as well. So any belief, it doesn't just disappear overnight, is the point that I was thinking about.
But yeah, no, I think you're making a great point, and I think the hope we have for this segment is, each week we can identify a belief that somebody's overcome, what fears and emotions that kind of had kept them locked into that belief, and then on the other side of it, how did it really change their life and impact lives around them by doing that? And we'll explore this and have some fun with it, and we're excited to bring this kind of piece of concept to everybody. Again, this is the intro to the Cauliflower Moments segment, and this is the Relaxx Radio, www.relaxx.org, and we're going to be taking a brief break, and we'll be right back.
Your world is colored with beliefs, values, and illusions, which interpret how you process the signals you receive from others. Now there's a way in which you can quickly learn how to interpret these signals correctly, and without self-sabotaging yourself in the process. In Dan Riordan's book, Signals Proven Methods will help you see things more clearly, so you can act with purpose and achieve your goals, while attaining a more peaceful, happy life. Get your copy of Signals by Dan Riordan today at Amazon.com or wherever fine books are sold.
This is Jack Maher from the band Feed the Kitty. It's important to support the artists you love, and you can do that and get something authentic for yourself. Rock.com has the most coveted licensed merchandise of music, culture, and entertainment. So go to the advertiser page and click on Rock.com now.
If you want the most compelling, universally available platform in the practicing of meditation, mindfulness, and intermittent silence, then you need to know about the app called Relaxx.org. That's Relaxx with 2 X's, because when you go to this app, you really do relax. It helps your body, quiets your mind, and connects you to your flame in the world of consciousness. It's always with you, so you can use it any time. Isn't this your time to be peaceful, happy, and prosperous? Find out more at Relaxx.org.
Get high-quality glasses, sunglasses, and prescription lenses at eyeglasses.com. Choose from over 250,000 items and 400 brands. Already have frames? Get replacement lenses. It's easy. Go to our advertiser page and click eyeglasses.com.
Imagine living everyday life on purpose. Now imagine yourself easily navigating through life's changes and stress from a soul level. For insights into the journey of the human soul, let Dr. Krishna Bhatta be your guide. His book, Journey from Life to Life, will help you demystify life, death, and everything in between. It gives you clarity on how you can have a successful life and a smooth transition into the world beyond. Who wouldn't want that? Get Journey from Life to Life by Krishna Bhatta MD at Amazon.com.
HealthyLife.net, where positive overcomes negative.
Welcome back to Relaxx Radio. I'm your host, Dan Riordan, with co-host Dr. Krishna. This next segment is called Learning About Peaceful Moments with Dr. K. And Dr. K is going to be leading you through this segment. So, Krishna, please take it away.
So, Dan, this peaceful moment idea came from a magician, actually, somebody who is a composer and does music. And the basic principle is that we all have a spiritual corner that is looking for peaceful moments, and we all try to find peaceful moments. I live in Maine. I often hear people telling me how wonderful they feel when they do ice fishing, or they go hunting with a gun, and I'm not saying hunting is the best thing to do, but they feel that peaceful moment for them. I was talking to some person recently, a friend of mine, and he finds his peaceful moments when he goes walking around his neighborhood. So this is something that's amazing, that we all have peaceful moments, that we find our niche or our corner that we can go, or our hobbies that we can go and do, and you feel relaxed. My wife feels relaxed when she does gardening. She'll sit in the dirt and, pull weeds, and she feels like energized after that rather than tired. So this magician once told me that many people are telling me I should meditate. And I've tried, but I find my meditation moments when I am making music. It just flows from me, or if I'm playing an instrument. And you could see him as if he's lost in that trance. So meditation is anything that you spend time with yourself. You feel relaxed. You feel peaceful. And this is what we are going to do. We are going to ask people to share their peaceful moments. What do they find peace in? What is that one thing they do where they feel like, I want to go and sit beside the river and just sit and look and do nothing. And they don't have to think that it's meditation. They don't have to think it's intermittent silence. They don't have to brand it. They don't have to give it a name. And many people do that. And I think everybody I have talked to has done something like that. Like, Dan, you like kayaking, right?
Yeah, it's I have multiple outdoorsy things that give me that peaceful moment, and kayaking is one of them. There's something about the getting on the water, you're close. Every time that paddle dips in, there's a little bit of wonderful sound as you're swooshing through the water, and the birds are flying by. There's just the piece of it is amazing. The other big one is walking in the forest, and I've been seeing the term forest bathing more and more. And I at first I was like, oh my gosh, I've been doing this for years, and now there's a name to it, because I really hadn't thought about it, about bathing in the energy of the forest. But there is something about the energy that's there that just brings me such tremendous peace. So those are by far the two most favorite kind of peaceful moments for me.
No, as you mentioned, I have a very good friend, and I'm sure, there are listeners who do that, the sailing. For me, when he was describing it, it sounded like torture. It's like there were two of them, and they have to take turns and be awake every 6 hours so that some big boat or ship doesn't run them over. But they were gone for 6 months, and they were, it's like how nice it is, how beautiful it is, the whole ocean and just you. So we all have different things that give us peaceful moments, and it will be very nice to hear how other people do. But yes, if you don't have it, you can always fall on our Intermittent Silence or use the Relaxx app and do one of the meditations. One of the things we are going to do is meditations that will be specific to each chakra, which have special properties. It's like the third chakra has got the properties of fear and anxiety. So if you work on that, or if you let music work on that, that might help you combat or become more resilient to fear and anxiety. So we will have a lot of things in Relaxx app, and Relaxx Radio with 2X is going to continue to share that. Your thoughts, Dan?
Yeah. One thought is actually kind of a question for you in a way. It came up as you were talking. I have another really silent time that's very peaceful and powerful for me, which is really early morning. I've always been a person that wakes up, quite early. And I went through a period of time in my life where I wasn't really happy that I was waking up so early, and I felt very different from everyone else. But now I absolutely relish that early morning where it's just quiet and my brain is still and everything around me is still, and it allows me to really calmly enter my day. And the Relaxx app and some of the programs there have helped and continue to help, but also just finding a peaceful moment in the morning like that doesn't require me to go anywhere. It doesn't require anything other than diving into enjoying that time. Is that, in your mind, is a peaceful moment considered that early morning time where you might not actually be heading out to nature, but you just find that quiet?
Yeah, you don't have to go outside. Yeah, I have a very similar moment, in my sleep when I do what we call conscious deep sleep or yoga nidra. That's such a beautiful moment, because you are there, sleep is surrounding you, and that's a quiet moment that's just amazing. And I'll definitely recommend you try that. But one of the things you mentioned, Dan, that you sometimes take notes when you wake up in the morning. So it's not a peaceful moment that has no use. Sometimes thoughts come to you, ideas come to you, and this can be a creative time too, right?
Yeah, I think that's a great point. It is a really creative time for me. I wake up with a lot of thoughts that have come to me over the evening. So we're excited to bring this segment, and I think that there's peaceful moments in a lot of different ways that we're going to highlight that we and others experience. So be joining us each week for this segment. We're going to be taking a brief break now, and we'll be right back.
Explore your inner universe with your own portable guru. You'll discover the benefits of intermittent silence, meditation, and mindfulness, which will help you in every area of your life. At Relaxx.org, you'll learn to conserve, channel, and use your energy in constructive ways while helping to keep your body healthy and your mind relaxed. Relaxx.org is your chance to consistently experience stress-free, purposeful living at its best. Where is this portable guru? At Relaxx.org. That's relax with 2 X's. Feel like the super person you are meant to be? It's easy at liveandbreathesolutions.com. They don't just talk about healthy living. Their superfoods are combined with products you use daily, so you're actually getting a healthy living at great prices, too. Imagine chocolate, gluten-free organic snacks, mixes, and ingredients all but a click away at liveandbreathesolutions.com. So make life simple to be healthier. Just live and breathe and go to liveandbreathesolutions.com. Your world is colored with beliefs, values, and illusions, which interpret how you process the signals you receive from others. Now there's a way in which you can quickly learn how to interpret these signals correctly and without self-sabotaging yourself in the process. In Dan Riordan's book, Signals Proven Methods will help you see things more clearly so you can act with purpose and achieve your goals while attaining a more peaceful, happy life. Get your copy of Signals by Dan Riordan today at Amazon.com or wherever fine books are sold. Imagine living everyday life on purpose. Now imagine yourself easily navigating through life's changes and stress from a soul level. For insights into the journey of the human soul, let Dr. Krishna Bhatta be your guide. His book, Journey from Life to Life, will help you demystify life, death, and everything in between. It gives you clarity on how you can have a successful life and a smooth transition into the world beyond. Who wouldn't want that? Get Journey from Life to Life by Krishna Bhatta MD at Amazon.com.
More exhilarating talk. HealthyLife.net.
Welcome back to Relaxx Radio. I'm your host, Dan Riordan, with co-host Krishna Bhatta. This next segment is going to be called Minor Miracle Stories. And Dr. Bhatta is going to be leading you through this segment. So, Dr. Bhatta, please take it away.
Dan, thank you very much. This segment is based on the fact that we all think we control our lives until we don't. And some magic, some miracles happen in our lives that make major changes going forward. And it could be a significant event. It could be an accident that you survived and nothing happened to you. It could be any moment that made a major change. I'll share with you something that happened to me some time ago, and that also builds upon the story of how I came to USA. So we were in England at that time, me and my wife, and we had thought about coming to USA, but slowly and slowly we have been there about 10 years, 11 years before we came here. And about the 10th year we gave up. We said, no, we are fine, we'll just stay here. And the reason for move mainly was a better career in our both are physicians, so we wanted to go up the ladder. And at the time in UK or England, there was a pyramidal system, and there was fewer openings, fewer possibilities of going up. But we thought, okay, it's fine. It's a nice place. We loved the area, loved the place, and people were nice to us. One day, somebody from Houston came to Scotland. That's where we lived at that time. And that was about 1988 or 87. That's that time frame, long time ago. He came pheasant hunting, but he got sick, and he came to the hospital where I was on call, a young man on call. And but I was at that time a senior resident, senior resident from U.S. standards, and we call them registrar there. But this person from USA, Houston, USA, he wanted a private treatment, which I could not offer. My consultant, or what we call in USA attending. So I called him. Nick Downell was his name. He's a good friend as well. So he came, and I went home to sleep. And it was about 10 o'clock by the time Nick Downell came. And I went home, and I get a call about midnight. Do you want to go to Houston? I said, what's happening in Houston? Why should I go to Houston? And he said, well, you get $1,000. That was a big money for for me at that time. And you get the tickets to Houston. You can stay there 2 or 3 nights. They will pay for it, and you escort him to the hospital there. It was not much of a choice, so I said okay. So we had first-class travel, and we ended up in Houston, and he went to the hospital, and I was put up in a very nice hotel, which later I found out he was the architect of that hotel. So I get up in the morning, and I started walking on the road, and it was nice day. In front of the hotel was immigration office. So I entered the immigration office then, and I just say, I'm a doctor and work in UK. If I want to come here, what do I need to do? And they gave me a couple of forms and they said, okay, fill it and we will process your paper for some visa, H1, J1. And it just reignited the interest a little bit. So I took the paper and I said, okay, I'll go back home and just, talk to my wife and see what happens. So I came back to Scotland, and I talked to my wife. I talked to the attending that was there, my consultant, and he said, why don't you get it out of your system? Why don't you try? We will give you 3 years sabbatical. We will keep your job. If you want to come back, you are welcome. If not, at least you have tried. And that was it. And it doesn't sound like a big event, but these little things led to a point that in 88 we were in Boston Mass General Hospital, and I have not looked back ever since. So a little trip which was not planned, a little visit to immigration that was not planned, and a little conversation with my attending which was not planned. So how much control do we really have in our life? I'm not saying that we should not plan, but at the same time, there is some other things that are happening around us that do guide us, do give us opportunities. And we want other people to share their moments, their minor miracles. And I'm sure everyone has some minor miracle. Dan, anything to add on that?
Yeah, when you first brought the idea of this segment up, it was interesting to me, and it made me think. And the very first thing that jumped to my mind is the story I'll share real quickly. Was it was my 3rd year of college, and I had finished finals week and was driving home, about a 4-hour drive back to my parents' house. And I was driving, and all of a sudden, the next thing I know, I had fallen asleep at the wheel, and I was in the center median of the highway going, 70 miles an hour, and I woke up, and I was, if it would have gone on for 2 seconds, probably longer, I would have had a really bad outcome. But I woke up, and I was headed toward the center divide, and I was able to get the car out of the dirt and get back on the road. I immediately pulled over and was just stood there in shock for a long period of time because I knew something had intervened because I had never done such a thing before. I've never done such a thing since. But at that very moment, there's no doubt to me that something intervened and really helped guide me. So it really resonated with me. I have a lot more of those kind of things that we're going to share. And this segment we're excited to bring to you each week. Thank you for listening to this segment today and to our whole show. We're www.relaxx.org with 2 X's. And thanks for listening, and you can find this and other shows on demand at thehealthylife.net.
Feel like the super person you are meant to be? It's easy at liveandbreathesolutions.com. They don't just talk about healthy living. Their superfoods are combined with products you use daily, so you're actually getting a healthy living at great prices, too. Imagine chocolate, gluten-free organic snacks, mixes, and ingredients, all but a click away at liveandbreathesolutions.com. So make life simple to be healthier. Just live and breathe and go to liveandbreathesolutions.com.
ASMC, the premier German company that supplies everything for adventure, from outdoor clothes to outdoor gear, even backpacks. Lots of quality and lots of specials. To start your adventure, go to HealthyLife.net's advertiser page and click on ASMC.
Make your day start out right. Coffee and tea are what most people need to help start their day. So it's no secret that you want the very best taste. That's where coffeeandchai.com comes in. They're proud to display a variety of coffee and tea from all over the world. They have a wonderful assortment of coffee flavors, and talk about teas. They have all kinds for the body, mind, and soul, which are great to drink any time of day. Visit coffeeandchai.com now. That's coffee, the letter N, chai.com. coffeeandchai.com.
Uplifting talk. HealthyLife.net.
Your world is colored with beliefs, values, and illusions, which interpret how you process the signals you receive from others. Now there's a way in which you can quickly learn how to interpret these signals correctly, and without self-sabotaging yourself in the process. In Dan Riordan's book, Signals Proven Methods will help you see things more clearly, so you can act with purpose and achieve your goals, while attaining a more peaceful, happy life. Get your copy of Signals by Dan Riordan today at Amazon.com or wherever fine books are sold. If you want the most compelling, universally available platform in the practicing of meditation, mindfulness, and intermittent silence, then you need to know about the app called Relaxx.org. That's Relaxx with 2 X's, because when you go to this app, you really do relax. It helps your body, quiets your mind, and connects you to your flame in the world of consciousness. It's always with you, so you can use it any time. Isn't this your time to be peaceful, happy, and prosperous? Find out more at Relaxx.org.